Alright, hello friends. If you are watching this today, you probably have a fear that you can't learn. Now, that is my specialty. We are going to talk a bit about why you can learn and how to hack your brain to do it. My name is Rowan, my pronouns are they, he, and z. I teach music to adults who believe they can't learn. Now, this started because of realizations that I had. In college, I realized I had ADHD and autism. Never knew I was neurodivergent until that point, and suddenly so much made sense about why I struggled with college, classes, all of schooling really, among many other things. Then I started teaching music to all ages around town and online. And I realized so many of them had this same belief that they can't learn, and yet here they were, booking music lessons, trying to learn anyways, and quickly realizing, oh, they actually can, and I was able to show them in a short period of time and celebrate their wins. And then I realized I held this same belief when it came to languages in particular. Here I am, teaching all these people, being successful at it, seeing their wins, seeing them break down this belief, and yet I still held a hard belief myself that I couldn't learn a new language. Guess what I'm doing now? Learning a new language. Alright, so I went investigating after all these things I learned, and I learned a lot about neuroscience and neuroplasticity. Side note, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a neuroscientist, and I am not a therapist. This is simply research for my own personal good, and now I am sharing what I have found with you so you don't have to spend hours like I did. Many TikTok spirals, TED Talks, and long online trainings later. And I have cracked the code, I believe. You can learn, and I will show you how. So here's what we're going to learn today about how to learn. 1. Be a baby. 2. Use emotions. 3. Tell a story. 4. Focus on mistakes. And 5. Take breaks. We're going to go through these pretty quickly. Overview. Here we go. Kids soak up everything just by being exposed to it. Be a sponge. Be a baby. Approach everything with curiosity and an open mind, and most things will sink in naturally with repetition and application. As a teacher, I tell you when memorizing is the way, so don't approach every little piece of information like, oh, trying to shove it into my brain, I have to memorize. Just let it wash over you, your brain will have it sink in, and repetition, application is the way. Next, emotions matter. If you feel like this, how good are you at spouting the quadratic formula on a whim? How good are you listening to literally anyone, let alone in a new language you don't understand and you're trying to comprehend something new? But if you come at it feeling like this, you notice things. Your mind is open, you're curious, you're joyful, the tint of the sky looks different, you notice the changing leaves, your smile is extra bright. This is all good things. Which do you prefer? Learning like this one or like this? Another example. If I'm teaching you or you're learning online, azul is blue. Okay, great. What about if you learned this way? This is azul. The second one made you feel something and stopped you from translating directly Spanish to English and back, which is an unnecessary step. Instead, you just learn with the visual, like a baby. Everything connects. Okay. So if something is beautiful, funny, sad, frustrating, you're going to remember it better because your brain associates it with that emotion, that feeling. This connects to our next point, which is context or tell me a story, because our emotions, that's RUI stories work, so let's take it a little bit further. First example, if I say, take your finger off the guitar string faster, okay, sure, you get what I'm saying, right? But if I say, your finger is suddenly allergic to the string, something changes when I say the second one to my students. I saw such a difference the other day. I actually used this on one of my students, take your finger off the string faster, and they were trying, but it just sounded the same over and over again because it was a brand new solo they never had learned. And then I said, okay, your finger is suddenly allergic to the string. That's how fast you want to get it off. And believe me when I tell you, the difference I heard was amazing, and they were able to do it again and again after that. All right. Next, your brain has a volume dial, so use it. What do I mean by this? Focus on your mistakes. If you keep playing an E instead of an F, they're right next to each other, it happens. I want you to slow down at that part of the song. Slow all the way down and make your finger move a tiny bit to the right and play that F so freaking loud, and then continue the song. All right? See, here's my visual example. E and F right next to each other. Easy mistake. Most people will practice the whole song that they're learning or the whole section over and over and over again, expecting it to get better. Now, that, as we know, is the definition of insanity. But you didn't know any better, and now you do. So don't gloss over your mistakes. Identify them. Slow down. Force your brain to make the change. Focus on them. Turn the volume dial up. And then continue. It'll make a difference. Finally, our last one is take breaks. Your brain, I just learned this a little while ago. Your brain repeats what you learned after you stop input. So after you practice a song, the song repeats in your head subconsciously. The words, if you're learning a new language or you're learning the words to a song, the words echo in your head. I've been finding this with German. I'll do my German practice, and then I'll go make dinner or something, and I'm hearing random words like echo in my head sometimes. Most of it's subconscious, but I swear I've been consciously realizing this in real time as well. Again, subconscious, but, well, maybe a bit of both. Now, I found this from neuroscientist Dr. Lila Landowski. She talks about this, and she recommends a 10 to 20 minute break with no phones. A nap is great. But if naps don't work for you or whatever, just no screen, real rest. You can lay down and not sleep. You can, take a walk, whatever. But 10 to 20 minute break after your practice learning session. And I included the YouTube link up here if you want to watch her whole TED Talk. It's really great, and I think it's pretty short. All right, so you take a break after your study session to allow the repetition to sink in. Your brain's doing extra work without you doing anything, so just let it do its job. All right, we made it through. So here's what we learned today about learning. Be a baby, use emotions, tell a story, focus on mistakes, and take breaks. 5 huge tips to hack your brain into learning. I swear you can do it. If you want to work with me directly and have some accountability, support, direct tips, learn an instrument, so much more, I teach guitar and ukulele, fully virtual and tailored to you, including theory, finger picking, self-accompanying while you sing, learning your favorite styles, learning rhythm. We're not going to play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star unless you ask me to, okay? Unless that's your favorite song on the planet, we're not touching that one, okay? We're going to learn rock, we're going to learn country, we're going to learn pop, whatever it is, your favorite artist, we start there and we have fun. And we show you can learn. Now, finally, I do have another offer where you can get even more tailored with what you want to learn. So if you want to do guitar or ukulele plus this or just this, that's an option. I also include piano or keyboard in this, and I often get asked for songwriting help, so I do a lot of songwriting coaching through this. You can also add recording and or performing, musicianship if you like, basically anything you would need to have a fuller creative outlet, to do some writing yourself, to work with other musicians, whatever the tools you want. We dive in a lot deeper here, and there's a lot more options, so that is out there. Now, I do have limited spots. I protect my schedule. You don't need to have any music experience to start. I want to be clear on that. You don't need to have any music experience. Maybe you had a bad experience and it's been 20 years. Maybe you tried a few months ago and your guitar's been sitting in your basement ever since. Maybe you've never touched an instrument. Whatever the case may be, you can get started. You just have to be willing to try things, try new things. You have to be pleasant and respectful, and you have to be dedicated to some level to your practice, okay? I can only do so much. I can give you all the tools, but you do have to practice and implement them. Okay, so how do you get into work with me? The general structure, we talk for 15 minutes on a free phone call to see if it's a good fit for both of us. Then we get your first lesson out of the way, get you started, get a plan going, and then you get your regular slot. So to get your 15-minute consult call for free to see that if it's a good fit for both of us, here is the link. You can go to my Calendly. It's calendly.com/TheRowanBlackwood/15MIN for minutes. You can also email me, TheRowanBlackwood@gmail.com. Forgot to put it on the slide, but again, TheRowanBlackwood@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Either way, best of luck on your learning journey. I promise you can do it. We're in this together, and it's going to be great. Hack your brain. All right.